Hello guys, and welcome to this third episode of Features for Teachers. As always, this is Aaron. So this episode was originally supposed to be dedicated to giving you guys an update on EduSync and me using TeacherCal in the real world classroom to let you know my impressions of it. But on Twitter today, a lot of people were retweeting about Google Classroom and Google doing a lot of updating to their software. So I wanted to go through that a little bit first because eventually it will tie into TeacherCal and my impressions of it in the classroom over the first little bit of school here. So Google for Education, what they're doing here is they've added a few features and they're going to be adding a little bit more within the next month. So question-driven discussion. So this is basically enables you to pose a question to your students. You can post questions and get their responses and things like that. It says you could even post a video to ask students a question about it, or post an article and have them write a paragraph in response. So the feature for this is okay. I think this is. It feels just like Google's just kind of thrown this together a little bit. They might develop it a little bit better later, but it's really just kind of blah, to be honest with you. I mean, if you're going to be posting classroom discussions on a regular basis, if you're going to be adding videos, you're really in a better shape to stay with a Moodle, or if you use Collaborize, that's something that I use on a regular basis. They are streamlined for classroom discussions. They have built-in reporting to check on activity levels that also integrates with Microsoft Excel. They're much better at doing those sorts of things than what this looks like from Google. Now, something that is kind of cool, let me get back out of this, is the ability to reuse posts, but I'm going to actually touch on that later. So here's where this kind of meets with TeacherCal, and a little bit of what I was worried about whenever I was reading this, because I like TeacherCal, but whenever I saw that Google Classroom is now going to have calendar integration starting next month, and within the next month they say, I was a little bit worried, because typically Google, usually whenever they bring something out, it might have a little bit of a bumpy road at first, but then they clear it all up and it's great. So I really wanted to kind of compare this to what I'm already getting with EduSync and TeacherCal. So here's my advice right from the very beginning. I would recommend staying with TeacherCal as of right now. I'm going to stay with TeacherCal. Now I am going to reevaluate this as I see more coming from Google about their calendar integration, but just based on this one little small screenshot, this is what we basically get with the calendar integration with Google. Pretty basic. TeacherCal, I think, is a little bit more designed to do what we want to do as educators. So here's the update of what I've been finding so far as it happens in the classroom. So unit color coding, the ability to go through and add units and do so in a manner that I can quickly go through all of my months and see what unit I'm supposed to be doing when, and next year whenever I want to look back at this year and start planning and saying, okay, what did I do good, what did I do bad, what do I need to adjust. This just kind of, it works so much better for me with the unit color coding. Now, the other thing that I think is kind of important is that the events sync with attachments in Google Drive. So whenever I go to my Google Drive, here's TeacherCal, I have my 2015-2016 school year right here. So I can go in there, I can look up my current events, I can look in my unit, I can look in my assignments, and there's everything that I've been doing. It keeps it in a nice, organized fashion for me automatically. Now, Google Classroom kind of does this already as well, but to be honest, I really like the way that TeacherCal organizes all of the information within Google Drive by school year and by course. So that's another reason why I would recommend staying with TeacherCal as of right now. The other kind of benefit that I see with this, let me kind of get back here to the present, is whenever you are editing events, if you are a new teacher or if you are coming up for evaluation, the ability to add instructions, add objectives, add standards to each individual event so that your administrator can see this, so that your mentor teacher can see this, if you're doing a resident educator program of some sort for your state, this is much better, in my own personal opinion, to be able to pull them up and show them exactly what you have going on. It's just a little bit more streamlined. It looks a little bit more professional. Now, is that a huge deal? Is it going to make a big impact on your teaching? No, probably not. But it is a neat feature that you need to be able to consider whenever you're looking at what you're going to be doing. Now, the one piece of advice that I would recommend to EduSync, if you're really going to compete with Google in this calendar integration, it's that the sharing to the classroom needs a little bit of work, and let me show you what I mean by that. So I love that I can now share these events to Google Classroom, because the nice thing is I can create this a couple days ahead of time. And that morning, whenever I go into class, I can click on this button and I can immediately put it in whatever classroom I want. So just for example, I know this is in my current events class, but I don't really want to post it to that right now. Let's say I'm going to post it to my government class. I'm going to create an assignment. I'm going to click go. So here's a basic overview of what you're going to have posted to your classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and assign it, and let me show you kind of why I think this needs a little bit of tweaking. Whenever I go in here, it's the standard Google Classroom layout. The EduSync event is right here for the students to click on. I have the link that I'm using for the students to go through and see, and then I also have the daily assignment. Now, whenever they click on this, it goes right into the Google Drive, and that's where I think this needs a little bit of tweaking. If I add something to Google Classroom myself, let me get back here. This is what I mean. So this is an assignment that I've already posted for tomorrow. In Google Classroom, I can go in, add the link, I can add the daily assignment document just like I did before, but now here's the difference. Each student gets a copy of this, so whenever they type on the document, they can go up, click turn in, and it's done. I know it's an extra step, I know I'm probably nitpicking, but it's still one of those things that I kind of like. It makes it a little bit easier for the students, it's less clicking for them. So that is something that I would recommend to EduSync and TeacherCal, that if you're going to keep up with Google, definitely think about making this integration where each student gets a copy of the assignment a part of your Google Classroom integration. Now, the one thing that I did want to add about the Google update that I really like is this ability to reuse a post. So for instance, if I have a post in my second period current events class and I want to reuse that daily assignment post that I just used, I can click reuse, and it will bring up all of my other classes here in just a second, and I can click on however many I want to. Alright, so being able to reuse the post, that is something that I do like, that is something that I do plan on integrating into my classroom. Other than that, everything's great. The ability to share this with your colleagues whenever that comes up, I think that's going to be awesome. The TeacherCal calendar, the mobile app for students that I know EduSync is working on right now, I'm really excited about that. Until TeacherCal is up and ready to go, the mobile version of Google Classroom is probably your best bet. So that is kind of my take on this for right now. Like I said, my own personal opinion, I'm sticking with TeacherCal and with EduSync for right now until they give me a reason not to. Now, I know this episode was originally supposed to be about the best differentiation strategy you're ever going to find but whenever the Google update came out, I wanted to get this out there really quick for everybody. So next episode, I promise the best differentiation strategy you're ever going to find. Tune in then, and we'll catch you guys next time.